Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Tuesday, January 31st. Hope you guys are staying warm out there. It's a little chilly this morning. Coming up on Mornings on Main Street this morning, we hear from Columbia City Mayor about the flag design competition they have going on right now. How you can submit your design if you're an artist out there and you would like to submit a design for their city flag, and hear how this competition got started. Well, he has that for us in a few short minutes. After that, there are so many places here in the Volunteer State to visit from one side to the other. Well, this man, the Tennessee Traveler, takes us there. You can find his articles in Main Street, Nashville, but he is with us this morning to share one spot in Dyersburg, Tennessee. It's a spot you want to hear about. And also this morning, we check in with Second Cup of Joe Elvis and John Dwyer. They sit down and have a conversation with Main Street Media Tennessee President Dave Gould. So some fun information coming from that conversation that you can listen in on. And then now taking a look at our headlines this morning, Clarksville police are looking for information and additional video footage of a shooting that killed one man and injured two others at Dodge's convenience store around 5 a.m. this past Saturday morning. Now, two men are in custody at the Montgomery County Jail, charged with criminal homicide. For more on this shooting, you can head over to mainstreetclarksville.com. Well, the success of the Rutherford County STEM Fair, a first-time event, could become an annual deal. That's how big of a deal this was. Central Magnet students handled the planning, the preparation, volunteering, fundraising, and teaching there at the STEM Fair. Proceeds from the event will benefit special needs classrooms in the county. Now, to learn more about the students, who they are, the ones who came up with this idea, you can go to murfreesboropost.com. And the popular Deja Vu Creamery and Coffee Co. in White House has now opened another location in Springfield, Tennessee. The community, well, they welcomed this place with open arms. In the first 5 days alone, get this, more than 4,300 people stopped in. You can read more on how Deja Vu Creamery and Coffee Co. found a home in Springfield by going to robertsoncountyconnection.com. Well, stick with us. We do have quite a bit to come here this morning, so we'll be back in a few short minutes, so don't go anywhere.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Walmart Supply Center is hiring right now in Lebanon, Tennessee, where you can earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and flexible hours and all sorts of perks like 100% paid college tuition, a 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership, a free Paramount Plus membership, plus you get paid time off and a lot of other things. All you have to do to apply is text JOIN to 240240. Text the word JOIN, JOIN, to 240240 right now.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. There is a unique competition happening in Columbia, Tennessee right now. It's happening from now until March 15th. And to tell us all about it this morning, we have Mayor Chaz Mulder from Columbia, Tennessee. First off, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here today.
There's a lot of exciting things happening in your city right now.
There is. Columbia is a city on the move. And moving forward in a lot of positive direction, and really excited to be able to highlight it at every opportunity.
Well, and we love hearing about it. So let's talk about the competition you have going on. It is a flag design competition. And what's so unique about this is you're asking residents and those from anywhere to submit their designs. Am I correct?
That's right. It came to our attention that the city of Columbia did not have an official city flag, which was frankly sort of a surprise for me. Columbia is a very historic community, has a historic downtown district, been around for a long time, but it didn't have an official flag. And so we've decided to change that and create a competition that does allow for folks to submit their own design and have a little bit of fun while we're at it in the form of a competition. So really excited about the entries that we anticipate receiving.
Where did this idea originate? Who came up with it?
Well, that's actually the really cool piece of this story, in my opinion, because we were approached a few months ago by a local high school senior who had done some research and said that he has confirmed that the city of Columbia did not have a flag and that he wanted his Eagle Scout application project to include overseeing the process for which the city would designate a new city flag. And so we had to first go and confirm that, in fact, it was true that we did not have an official flag. And we did confirm that through our archives. And so out of the gate, this young student was already correct in his research. And now he's a part of that process. He's, as you may know, to be an Eagle Scout, you have to have a project towards the end of your trajectory in the life of a scout. And this is his application. This is his project. And so that makes this piece of the story even cooler.
I would say so. So what are the guidelines for this competition? And then who's going to be judging this?
Well, that's another really unique part of this story is, first of all, there really are no guidelines. We wanted to have a competition that was really open to anyone in the city of Columbia, whether or not you're a professional artist or an amateur artist or somewhere in between. This was designed to really sort of reach the entire community. We, as you may know, are very committed to the arts here in Columbia, and we've engaged professional artists for a number of projects over the last several years. This particular project wasn't necessarily geared towards the professional artist, however. We want anybody to feel like they can submit their design. Then once the contest, or at least the application part is over, our Arts Council, which we have here in Columbia, will go through the various submissions and we'll narrow the list down a little bit. And then we will have a community-wide vote where the public will get to vote on the design that they choose. And then the winner of that vote will be the official city flag. And so there are some steps to the process, but it is a very public involved process, which I'm really proud about.
I love that. Absolutely love it. What's the interest like so far? What are you hearing?
Well, we've heard a lot of feedback on this project. Folks wanting to know to confirm the rules or how long they have. And of course, we have all this information, by the way, for your viewers on our city website that they can go to learn more about. But we've really received a lot of feedback, a lot of positive feedback, a lot of questions that we've been happy to answer. And I think folks just like having the ability to be engaged in their community. I think that folks like the thought that if they design the winning flag, then their name will essentially be etched in history because they will be the one that can be associated with this flag. So it creates a lot of goodwill in our community, which we have a lot of positive goodwill and momentum right now. And I think this just adds more to it.
This is wonderful. So they have until March 23rd to submit that design, and then you're announcing the winner in April. And what time in April?
That's correct. So March 23rd to submit the design. Then there will be a public voting process that will occur April 1st through the 15th. And then we anticipate on announcing the winner on April the 20th. So all this will happen pretty quickly. If you're interested, now's the time to get your design and your application submitted so we can make sure the more the merrier.
Mayor Mulder, absolutely love it. So before you leave us, I know, again, your area big into the arts. What else is unique about Columbia, Tennessee?
Well, it is true that we are dedicated to the arts in Columbia. I happen to believe that in order to have a vibrant community, it must have a vibrant arts scene. And I think Columbia has really evidenced our commitment to that. We have an arts district specifically designated for the arts that we're trying to continue to expand. But there are other things beyond the arts that we stand out for, particularly our historic downtown district. We get visitors and tourists from all over the world that want to come to Columbia, Tennessee to see our beautiful historic downtown. Of course, we're also the site of a presidential home with the James K. Polk home here in downtown Columbia, the site of the first state community college, Columbia State Community College, and the corporate headquarters for Tennessee Farm Bureau, just to name a few. So Columbia has a lot of things that make it stand out. We're also a short 40-minute drive from Nashville, but we're also nestled just far enough away to where we get to avoid some of the big city headaches. And so There are a lot of things about Columbia that I love, and that quality of life perspective for me is probably the best. When you have an opportunity to live in a small town but have the access to the big city, there's something to be said about that, and we certainly have that here in Columbia.
It seems like that. Again, Mayor Chaz Mulder, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And for those out there who have not made a visit to Columbia, Tennessee, let's pack up. Let's go. Let's go and visit, because it seems like a great place. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Mule Day, by the way, is the first weekend of April, so come on down.
Oh my gosh, Mule Day. I forgot. I used to, and I believe you have bluegrass music and all of that during Mule Day. Am I correct?
We have music galore, food galore. This will be a very big year for Mule Day. So come on down and give us a look. I think you'll like what you see.
I have been there as a child. Thank you for that reminder.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye. All right, guys, stick here on Mornings on Main Street. We have more coming up after this, so don't go anywhere.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Tell me your name, sir. Do you know where you are right now?
Main Street Sports Today strives to bring you the most timely and comprehensive coverage of sports news and more from Middle Tennessee and beyond.
We cover the teams you care about from preps to pros and bring some of the most influential voices in sports to keep you in the know.
Tune into Main Street Sports Today each Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Download the Main Street Media TV app.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Well, our next guest takes us to a variety of places here in the state of Tennessee through his words, his description, his writing, and it is from the articles that he has in Main Street, Nashville. It's kind of a getaway and a way to introduce you to places you might not have been to yet. I am talking about Tom Atkinson. He is a writer and editor. He's been a photographer. You've done a multitude of things. And you are what you would say a Tennessee traveler, and that is your banner for our paper. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice to be here.
So nice to have you. Well, we're talking about one spot today, and it's the Mustard Company store, and it's located in Dyersburg. Give us a little bit of insight of what this store is like.
The store is a retail outlet for a manufacturing plant that's there in Dyersburg, a German company that is huge internationally. Their products are sold in 65 countries. They have 17 plants, and one of the execs wanted a place in the U.S. And I don't know whether he stumbled across Dyersburg or what, but it met all his criteria. And they have a retail outlet called the Mustard Company store on the town square in Dyersburg. And it's all their products plus a pretty good sampling of other Tennessee-made products.
Well, I do have to say, Dyersburg, like you said, did he stumble upon it? Like, that just seems like a random spot.
It's in West Tennessee. It's a little bit surprising. There's excellent highway access. The Memphis airport is there for international travel for them. Might be a little closer to Memphis than it is to Nashville, as a matter of fact, in that regard. And if they ever really needed it, the river transportation is right there on the Tennessee River. So it was a strategic choice.
Gotcha.
And the guy did a good job of it, and employs, I understand, about 125 people.
That's wonderful. That's incredible. And that's great for that area. Tell me about the actual store, because you were telling me earlier it's older in style.
Well, it's on the town square. The county courthouse is right across the street. Its next door neighbor is the county archives. There's a lawyer's office down the way, a couple of dress shops. it's small town Tennessee, and it's in an old building. I did not ever learn how old it is, but a brick storefront, hardwood floors, tin ceiling, very nicely done retail display. Feels very comfortable walking in, and the folks in the store are right nice, and they'll let you sample mustard till your tongue burns out.
I love that. I love the sampling. I recall reading in your article that they're not afraid to experiment. What do you mean by that?
Well, the parent company has its primary products, and it's retailing them. I mean, and pushing them. They're out in about 14 states, I understand. But kind of like a craft brewery, they have their craft mustards that they make only small batches of. And they just experiment around. When I was there last, the samplings were curry and cranberry and let me check my list real quick. Onion and peppercorn, lemon and garlic, and these are sold in small bottles and only at the mustard company store. So if you find their product, Tiger Tail is their main retail name.
Okay.
But if you find that somewhere, you have to go to the store to get these special ones.
That is definitely worth a trip. So I know you say you can sample it. By some chance, do they have like a restaurant or anything like where they have sandwiches or like something you can have the mustard on?
They do not themselves. However, these are smart people. They hooked up with a local barbecue joint and made their own mustard sauce based on the barbecue sauce. And you can go to the barbecue joint and enjoy some of it that way.
Good to know. Well, I have to ask you, how did you happen to stumble upon this particular place?
I was out knocking around West Tennessee. I'd been up to Reelfoot Lake. I was on my way to a barbecue place called Helen's down in Brownsville, which is another story. And I knew that there was something mustardy on the square in Dyersburg. So I just detoured through and I got a good story out of it.
Oh, I love it. Well, tell us where we can find your stories and when they come out in Main Street, Nashville.
There's a new one up the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month.
Okay.
And they'll show up then in the scroll of the newspaper. But if you want to go looking for the longer list of them, the history of them, click on the Life button. And there's a drop down, and within that is travel.
Okay.
And that's where my Tennessee traveler stories are.
That is a must visit. We all need to go there and read your stories about your travels through the state. There's something else that you have out, and it's a book, and you said it's 100 things to do in Tennessee or in Nashville?
Nope. It's 100 things to do in Nashville before you die.
Okay.
And there is a new edition coming out in mid-March, and I'll be thumping the tub over that one pretty soon. If you see one, it's still someplace with a red cover, don't buy it.
Okay.
Wait for the new one that has a blue cover.
Well, I cannot wait to highlight the new one that comes out with you and to hear and learn more about you, because you have been in the area since you were age of 7. So I guess of all the people, you would be the one to ask where to go on what to do.
I try to stay informed. There's so much new happening around Nashville, particularly that I don't pretend to keep up with all of that. But for some stuff that has some legs to it, places that have some history and some substance and some distinctiveness, I can be a source.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tom Atkinson. We appreciate your time. Let's get on the same schedule so I can just meet you at all these fun places.
We can do it. I'll find a good meat and three for you, or a good barbecue joint, or maybe a craft brewery.
I'll take all of the above, please. Thank you. And until the next time, have a really good afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Stick with us right here on Mornings on Main Street. We have more after this.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
At Miss Lucille's, we go for apple pie. A place that feels like a home away from home. A comfortable place to bring your family from out of town. It's a place where great conversations are had. It's a place where you can shop 200 small businesses in one location. It's a place for you to shop for gifts for any occasion or just to treat yourself. Come on down to Miss Lucille's. You'll be glad you did.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Join me, Stephanie Miller, each week as we bring you the best of what's happening here in Clarksville. From the work of nonprofits to the latest events, highlights on local businesses, and also sharing you the stories of the beautiful people that make up the Queen City. Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. It is time now for Second Cup of Joe, and I'm not talking about a hot cup of coffee. I'm talking about the show with Joe Elvis and John Dwyer. This week we hear their conversation with Main Street Media Tennessee President Dave Gould.
Joe and John have come to the fork in the road.
Real pressure here because he also had a really good one earlier in the show. If you were listening and not skipping forward every 10 or 15 seconds, fork in the road, something, young, maybe before your Tennessean days, that maybe meeting your wife, maybe it was a decision you decided not to do, but there's got to be a good fork in the road.
Well,
David Gould,
there are lots of forks in the road when you work for a large corporation and they'll come to you and say, hey, would you be interested in moving to Green Bay, Wisconsin and doing such and such? Or do you want to go to Honolulu, Hawaii and do such and such? And so I had mentors who I would talk to about those things. And they would always come back and say, think about the person you're going to be working for, not just the job that you're going to be doing. And that's important, who you work for, not just what you do. And I always would take that advice and I'd be very, very careful. And, but I can I add something on the fork in the road to something to my other fork?
You're the boss of Main Street Media. You can do whatever you want.
Well, let me add just a little bit to that because I think this was interesting. When I was thinking about leaving the Tennessean, and this was again my biggest fork. So it was about a 3-month process of negotiation with the owners of the company that I was buying. And Ellen, my wife, and I were sitting around talking, and one day she said, she said, I'll support and I'm with you. And if we think it's the right thing to do, we're going to do it. But she said, you've got a pretty safe corporate job right now. I said, yeah. She said, and they pay you pretty well. And I said, well, yeah, they do. And she said, and that we 3 of our kids are in college. The others are in Catholic schools. There's never going to be a moment in our lives when we have more on the line financially than we do right now. And so is this the right time for us to take our, wallet, throw it out in the sidewalk and hope like heck that we can make it work? And I'll tell you what I came to the conclusion of is that sometimes in life when you're making a big decision, do it when you have the most at risk, because then you're going to fight like heck to make it work. People talk about plan B. We didn't have plan B. And sometimes I think if people have plan B, they take it. And sometimes you got to say, I don't have plan B and I'm going to do everything I can to make plan A work. And I think that was an important part of our fork. And that's what we finally came around to.
Burn your boats. So you got to do it.
Yeah, my wife and I had this discussion the other day about getting out of your comfort zone. And I think oftentimes we get into a routine, whether it's daily or seasonally. What are we going to, my wife and I are going to go to so-and-so for the holidays. We've done that every year. I just think there's a time And my wife had some business decisions lately that made her uncomfortable because it was a risk. But I can see her get excited about it and really own it and go after it. And I think getting out of your comfort zone, whether it's not having a plan B, is healthy. Do you, Joe? Do you get out of your comfort zone? I mean,
I used to. Right now, all
Right
I want to do is drink wine with Frank Sutherland and Dave and listen and laugh at other people's stupid podcasts. And there's my day. And go to the club and play golf
Rinse
and
and
have some lunch.
Yeah. Shoot an 84 and have a couple buds.
I think your passion comes in of what's Kevin Carter talked to it about it on another show as he went from football into broadcasting. We all have that other B thing. No matter what job we're doing, we said, man, maybe I should have done that. And then when you get the chance to do that, that kind of that risk and that fear and that motivation really kicks in. And that's what I enjoy what we're doing here at Main Street is, I mean, if you see our studio, Dave's saving his cash in fixing up this studio right now, but it's a ground level.
You said that in front of him, you know that. Okay.
It's on the line of everybody's trying to contribute and do things and move forward and stuff. And when you get section 1 meeting section 2 and 3, then all of a sudden you go, man, we're moving, we're getting some building the big momentum.
And it's not easy, but you know what you do, you get passionate people who want to do it and make it happen, and they can do it. And it takes a lot.
Absolutely love the banter of the three this morning, Joe, John, and Dave. Great to hear that great conversation. And again, so glad that they were able to sit down with the president of Main Street Media Tennessee. Stick right here. We have your national days for today when we come back, and then we have a special happy anniversary for someone out there.
This holiday season, the largest lantern event in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. After sunset, come see more than 1,000 Chinese lanterns. All new designs including mythical beasts, a fantastical North Pole village, even a dragon soaring over your head. Welcome back to Zoo Illumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
It's time to get tickets for the Nash Vegas Casino Night at Auction presented by King Jewelers. It's Wednesday, February the 8th at Bridgestone Arena. This year's theme is reverse retro, so break out the Musters jerseys and Y2K fashion. Challenge Roman Yossi to a game of blackjack, or join Ryan McDonough as he rolls the dice at the craps table. Mix and mingle with the players and Preds personalities while bidding on auction items and tasting food from local restaurants. All proceeds benefit the Preds Foundation. Visit NashvillePredators.com/gala.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Don't forget to send in your birthdays and anniversaries to us so we can celebrate on your big day. Just send in your name and where you're from. We do have an anniversary to shout out this morning. We want to wish a very happy 41st anniversary to Mary and Bill Hance. You may know Mary Hance with her Miss Cheap column in Main Street, Nashville, as well as her spot on News Channel 5. Okay, also today we have a couple national days for you. One being National Plan for Vacation Day. Who's planning already? I know we are trying to get all of that worked out, hopefully in the next couple months. Another day for you, Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. Always a beautiful thing to do. I know there's some phenomenal art places out there, so go get inspired. Thanks so much for joining us on this chilly Tuesday morning. No matter where you are, be sure to be safe. If you have to get out on the roads, not knowing what conditions you're dealing with exactly, but do be safe always. Always remember it's a good day to have a good day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.